Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is KP, and today we will cover how to write a weekly budget. So let's get right into it. All right, y'all, this is the budget we will be working with today. As I mentioned before, that I made that much as a CNA. I had 3 children at the time. My husband was in another state, so I did receive food stamps at that point in time. Um, But with this budget, we'll say we're going off an income of $1,250, and that's about $2,000 a month before taxes. What you would do, you would only budget the net income, the amount that you bring home. But I'm gonna stick with this. It's an easy number. It is $1,250 an hour times 40 hours a week times 4 weeks in a month, $2,000. Living paycheck to paycheck. Just imagine no savings right now. Single parent with 3 kids and receiving around 600 in a snap a month. That's a guess. I'm just guessing because I think that's around what I was getting when I was making that much, but if not as close. And then other options that I will cover is that 1040 savings challenge. It can be 6 months or longer, however you need it to be. Remember, we're not rushing. The $5 challenge, I'll go over what that is. The $1 challenge, and then the all change challenge. So we'll cover those in this video. Next, we'll move to our scrap paper. This is just extra paper on the side that I make notes on, but we do need to put our income. So the total income for the month is gonna be 2,475. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is write out our expenses. What all do we pay every month? This you will have to do. You need to sit down, get all your bills, figure out what bills you have to pay. Those are called fixed expenses. With these fixed expenses, you need to figure out everything that you have to pay every month. So with this budget, I'm just gonna use some bills, some basic bills. You need to write them out in order of due date. So what you may have to do is get your bank statement from last month and look and see what day did I pay my light bill, what day did I pay my water bill, phone bill, and all that stuff, and then just go off that date. So I will go with some basic bills. We'll start out on the 1st. Rent is usually due on the 1st. And we'll just say $700 in rent. Okay. On the 9th, phone bill, $80. On the 20th, your gas bill, $50. On the 24th, your water bill is due, $50. And then on the 25th, your electric bill is due, $200. Okay, so this is how you would basically list out your fixed. Let me write that. This is how you would write out the fixed expenses. So that would also include car note, car insurance, any other monthly bills, credit card payment. If it's a credit card, you need to list the minimum, because if you make extra payments, it will be out of other money. So list the minimum here of your credit card, just in case if you get to a point where all you can afford is the minimum, that's all you ever budgeted for. So then you'll just need to total all of this up to get your total amount of expenses. So get my calculator, and I will do 700 in rent plus 80, phone plus 50 plus 50 plus 200 equals $1,080. So the total of my expenses comes up to $1,080. Okay, so this is the stuff I know I have to pay. It has to be paid every month on time. I mean, there is no exception. I have to pay these bills. They total up to $1,080 a month. Okay, so now we can see if we take our total income, we making 2,475 minus that fixed expenses. That leaves you with $13.95. So we'll have remaining $13.95. Since I'm using this little bitty calculator, let me check my work right quick. $13.95 plus 1080 equals $24.75. So, yep. With the next part of this budget, we need to figure out our other expenses that we have to have. So, in my household, the things that I have to spend money on, I have no choice. But they change. The amounts change. They are called variable expenses. So, variable, let's see. Expenses. Okay, and that just means that the amounts don't stay the same. They change and fluctuate. So, the variable expenses that I buy for my home and usually everybody else is groceries. That's one. You can do gas, savings, eating out, household budget for household stuff. There are many different things. You know, that's why it's important to track your expenses, because if I look back over my expenses, the main thing I spend money on is groceries, but I'm never spending the same amount. So that is an important variable expense that I'll need to budget for. Another thing that's important to me is saving. And so if I do have any money left over, it will go into saving. Now, I plan to start my sinking fund categories again with my tax refund because I have more money. But until then, what I'll do is just whatever money I save, I'll put it in this envelope and just leave it there and just let that build up if I have any left over after paying all the bills. And so the other category that we all will put, I want y'all to use this one too, is miscellaneous. The reason why we'll do this category is because, like I said before, we will mess up. We will make mistakes. This is new. You can't expect to come in and just, okay, I'm going to get this right the first time. I'm going to get it right the second time. I'm telling you, I've been doing this since 2021, and you will make mistakes, but it's okay. As long as you plan ahead and plan for those mistakes, you'll be okay. So I have a miscellaneous envelope. With this envelope, I budget money to go into it every week. So instead of going back 2 months, 3 months, looking through all bank statements, all receipts out of my purse, trying to figure out what expenses I have I've been using and what I've been spending my money on. Moving forward, what I'll do is I'll put money into this miscellaneous envelope. So I'm already budgeting my bills. Everything is covered. I'm budgeting for the other things that I spend money on, groceries and stuff. So all of that is covered. The only thing that I have not budgeted for is my mistakes. So that's why I put it in here. So just say, for instance, if I forget somebody's birthday and I need to buy a gift, I would buy it out of this, but then I would come over here and make a noise. All right. Then I would grab my expense tracker, and whatever purchases that I make out of this miscellaneous folder envelope, I will be recording it in my expense tracker. So just say I wrote January there, but we are budgeting February, but you can still be tracking January's expenses if we're still in January. Um, so just say, for example, today is the 18th, and then if I went to Walmart and spent $60, and what did it go on? Groceries. So this is pretty much how I'll use this book. On the 18th, I went to Walmart. I spent $60 on groceries. If I go to Walmart and I buy $30 worth of groceries, and then I buy cleaning supplies, $30 worth of cleaning supplies for my house, I would do that. I would say on the 18th, I spent $30 for household, $30 for groceries. So this is just how we will we will count for our expenses moving forward to track them, since we've been spending all over the place already and we have receipts and stuff everywhere. But the money, the expenses will come out of that miscellaneous. So as of right now, that's what we'll do. Now continuing on, we have household. So this is just a few examples to use. So how do you know how much for these you'll need? What you'll do when you track those expenses, you'll see about how much you spent on groceries. But since you don't know, you haven't looked back over everything, what we do know is you get SNAP. That's $600 a month. And that's going toward groceries. And remember my disclaimer, in that other video, you need to report savings and especially extra income to DHS or whoever you are receiving government assistance from. They have limitations and there are limits on the amount of money you can save. So do your research. My disclaimer is that I don't want you to go try them people. Don't go try to hide money from them people. Don't try to lie on the application because it's against federal law. So the best thing to do is just do the right thing. If you know you're receiving this, then you know you can't really do both. Once you reach that threshold, I believe it's around 2,000. So do your research and see how much you can save while receiving government assistance. Disclaimer. Okay, so back to that. We spending our SNAP. That's $600 a month, and then for the household, we'll just say that you might go in that grocery store and spend an extra $300 a month for you and 3 kids. And then for saving, we do have $13.95 left over. And so remember that budgeting rule, 50, 30, 20. I do want to hit that 20% for savings since I'm able to. So that 20% of $2,000, which is more because it's an extra week, but 20% would be $400. Okay, for miscellaneous, I don't know what I'll mess up on for the month. I don't know how things will go. So for miscellaneous, we'll just budget $300 just to have that extra cushion in there. And then looking back over my statements and receipts and everything that I've bought, I see that I spend about $100 a month for household supplies. And so now let's calculate this. Let's see, how much are the variables? So we have 300 plus 400 plus 300 plus 100. Oh, did I mess up? Dang. This calculator is so small. 300 plus 400 plus 300 plus 1. Oh, I thought I put an extra. Yeah. So these come out to be $1,100. So the total, let me just draw a line. Total for your variables is $1,100. Okay, so we have $1,395. And now we'll take away 1,100. That leaves with 295 remaining. Okay, so now we have $295 left over. But we need to do something with this money too. All because we don't need to have any money left over. What we are working on is called a zero-based budget, which means you give every dollar a name, every dollar a job. That way you don't have extra money hanging out nowhere. You know where every dollar is going. It's basically having control over your money. The way that your boss and them companies try to micromanage you, do that with your money. Do that with your own money and get yourself out of debt and get yourself on track. So we'll have to do something with this $295. We have to bring our total down to zero, meaning all of our money has been allocated for something. So let's figure out what we'll do with this $295. For the extra $295 that's left over, I have decided to put money towards a savings challenge. Now, this is the $1,040 savings challenge. I originally wrote it out January, February, March for if you get paid every week. And I wrote out, but we haven't done it for January, so we can start with February and go to July. So and just do it like that. Okay, so starting out with this one in February, that's basically you put $40 every paycheck into an envelope, and then at the end of 6 months, you'll have $1,040 saved up in those envelopes. So this is just an extra fun way to save more money. Now, if you really think about it, we get our paycheck and then we'll go and swipe a card at Walmart. Okay, then we will know we got to pay a bill, a light bill. So we'll look, okay, the light bill due, we'll pay some on that. And water bill due, we'll pay. But we get to spending money, not keeping track of it. We don't really know where all that money is going. But when we doing it this way, we know all of our bills are paid. We have money and SNAP for groceries. We did meet our goal of reaching that 20% budget. We've already accounted for mistakes. So if we make any mistakes, so the stuff that we spend our money on, anything that's not budgeted for would come out of miscellaneous. And you pay attention while you tracking your expenses. Just make sure you do that, because once you notice, okay, I'm spending a lot of money on clothes. This month I spent $100 on clothes. That's how you get started with your sinking funds. So you choose sinking fund categories depending on what you need to save money for down the road. Things like clothes and fun and purchasing a new home and just extra things that you know you'll need money for, but just not right now at this moment. So it's like you're gonna sink money into a savings for now until you need that money. And so when I have leftover money, I either put it towards saving, extra saving. I put it towards sinking funds, which is still savings, but I put it towards something. And in this case, we're gonna do a challenge, which is still saving. And we'll do $40 a paycheck. So we know for the whole month of February, because this is the whole month, it's gonna be $200. So out of this remaining, we have $295 and okay, so $295 minus 200 for the challenge. That leaves us with $95 left over. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we'll do with that $95. In this case, you can just say, okay, scratch that out. I'm gonna move it over here, put $4.95 into savings. But again, if you know something, like for instance, my youngest son, his birthday is in February, so I might be planning for something, planning for him a birthday party or something. You know, that would be something that I would need to know ahead of time. Of course, if it's a party, I would already know how much I'm spending, but that would be something you would need to know how much you're spending, so you'll know how much to budget towards it. But if it's just, I'm just going to get him a gift and I know, then I can say, okay, I'll put that 95 towards a gift for him. Or you can really do what you want to do with it. If you know that you like to get your nails done every 2 weeks and it costs $40 every 2 weeks, I would do an envelope for nails and I would put $40. I would put $80 in there. So my 2 weeks of nails is covered, and that leaves $5, which with that one, I would throw into my $5 challenge. So we budgeted for $1,040 savings challenge for February. So I'm just gonna put a check because we already covering this month. I decided to use that $95 for nails, like I said. So what I'll do is I will, oh Lord, I said it wrong. I'm missing $15, y'all. Listen at my math. So nails is $40 a week, and we doing, I think I said $5 a while ago, but it's actually $15. Okay, so out of these $15, you can throw this into your $5 challenge and save that. $5. So we have a plan. This is the budget plan. So our plan, we know we'll receive that much in income and this much in SNAP. We'll pay all of our bills. We'll fill out our house with everything. And then we'll save some more in this challenge. And then we'll throw the leftover into a $5 challenge. Since this is a weekly budget, this is the month overview, but our budget, we get paid every week. So we will be putting $300 into groceries, but we know it won't all be on 1 week. So what I like to do is split this up by the week. So groceries, I know for the whole month, I'm going to put $300 in groceries. But how much do I need to put every week when I get paid? I just divide $300 by 5 weeks, because there's 5 weeks in February. And so that'll be $60 a week. Will give me $300 a month in groceries. For saving, I'll need to put $80 a week. For miscellaneous, I'll do $60 a week. Is that right? Yeah, the 300. I'm tripping. Okay, and then for household, I need to do $20 a week. Okay, over here is $40 a week. And then this one, the nails, that's gonna be $40 twice. So I'll add that in budget with that. Okay, so we ready to get started with our budget. Step is to start with the calendar. So we have a plan. This right here, we made a plan for the month. So now we're looking at the whole month on the calendar. So the first thing we start with is our income. We know we bring in that much. We know we get paid every Thursday. So paydays. And it's going to be $4.95 bring home. payday, and that's $4.95. Bring home. Okay, we have all our paydays filled out. Remember, we're going to keep going. I've already done March, so flip over to your March calendar and just keep writing your paydays in, because it's same day, every Thursday. Okay, so then the next step would be the bills. Okay, so the rent. The rent costs $700 a month, and we get paid every week. So 700 is too much to pull out of one check. So with a weekly budget, I like to split all my bills down so that I'm not just paying one whole bill out of each check. You can do that if your bills are low enough, but when you have bills that cost more than your paycheck and then they spread out throughout the month, it's easier to just split them up paycheck by paycheck. So what I mean by that is the rent is $700, but it's not going to be due until March 1st. So I got the whole month to pay it. So I'm going to split the rent up into 5 paychecks instead of just trying to take it out of one. So if we do 700 divided by 5, that'll tell you we'll pay $140 in rent every week. I think I heard Ladybug. Okay. Because we get paid every week. Okay, next, the phone bill is due on the 9th. Okay, the phone bill is due on the 9th. It's $80. We have 2 checks, so we don't have to take it all out this one check. We can split the phone bill up with these 2 checks, and it'll still be paid on time. So the total is 80. We're gonna do 40. Phone 40 and phone 40. And so on the 9th when it's due, you'll be able to make that payment. Okay, the gas bill is due on the 20th. So normally it would come out of this check, $50. But since the gas bill is due here, then we can split that gas bill up and have it come out of those 2 previous checks also. So it's not taking up too much. So the gas bill is $50 due on the 20th. If I split it in half, it'll be $25 a week. Gas bill, $25 a week. So half and half, put it in an envelope, and then when it comes due on that day, I can just grab the money out and go pay it. Okay, next we have the water bill. That's due on the 24th, and it's $50. So we're gonna do water. We're gonna split up water from the 15th and the 22nd, the 2 checks before. Water and water. And then how much? Okay, water is 50, so we'll do 25. The last one is electric, which is due on the 25th. And so for electric, we have 4 paychecks that we can split that from. It's $200. So we know that it would be $50 a paycheck. But you got to be mindful and make sure that, like, that's due on the 25th. So you know you can't take it out this check because it's after the due date. So you can only use these checks before to split it up. So electric, 50 every week. And that totals up to be 250. And really, I probably should have wrote some right here so it won't be all crammed in one spot. But that's all right, because it still be on the same paycheck. So, but that's okay. All right, so we have our rent, phone, gas, water, and electric. Okay, so right here and right now, we won't be adding the variables onto this. But what I do like to do is so I like to highlight my paid periods with a separate color. I normally use 4 colors, but we have 5 weeks in this month. So I'm just gonna choose. So this first week, we'll make it pink. And all bills due on this week. Oh, I went too far already, y'all. Moving too fast. See? Moving too fast. Pink, then orange. No certain order, but that just show that I'm using a different color for a different week so I can stay on track. And so we'll do green next. So everything highlighted with the same color gets paid that off that same paycheck. So like with the water, if I had left it here, then I would just highlight it blue. If I had left the electric here, I would have highlighted blue. Long as it's within this pay week. Last one, yellow. All right, so we have that down. We won't do March yet. We'll wait and do that later on in the month. As a matter of fact, we won't even do anything else for March for right now. But we can't forget our nails will get done. So that's an expense we need to plan for. Since we budgeted for it, let's plan for that one too. So I think Saturday would be the best day for me to go. So I'll be off work. That'll be the day. And it will cost me $40. And it'll be on this pay week. And then the other one, I think I'll skip 2 weeks and go this week. And that's 40. We also have this $15 that will go into our $5 saving challenge. I'm not sure exactly which week it will go on, but it is a fixed expense that needs to be noted on here. So right now, I will note that we'll be putting $15 into our $5 challenge. Just putting a note down here at the bottom. All right, we did our budget plan. So this is the monthly plan that we made a plan for our budget on scrap paper. We wrote out our plan on a calendar. So you will get you a monthly calendar and write out your plan. So making a plan is the first step. Putting it on the calendar is the second step. But writing out your actual budget, that's the last step. And this is how I chose to write it out. So how do we get to this point? Let me show you. And just for clarity, this is my financial goals at the front. January budget should be here, but we didn't write one. So we started with February, and there we go. But let me show you how I got to this point. Okay. What I like to do, I get some scrap paper. Because I do not like messing up my book. I like to keep it neat and clean. So I start right here with my plan and my calendar. And I say, okay, my income, it's several different ways you can do it. I write with a pencil, because you're going to have to erase. But weekly budget, I make a square for each week. Square for each week. And then this month we have an extra week. So 5 weeks in the month. And then I'm also doing a savings challenge. So I'm just going to do it extra just because normally I would do 4 because it's 1 month. Okay, so we know our income is $4.95 a week. So I'll just start with the first week. On the first, I get paid. I make $4.95. Why do I always do that and write a 4? I don't know why I always do that. $4.95. Okay, so out of this first check, we're gonna pay the rent, which is minus 140. We're going to pay the phone, and that'll be minus another $40. And we're going to pay the electric, which is minus another 50. All right. $4.95 minus 140. That's $355. $355 minus 40. That's $315. And then $315 minus 50 is $265. Okay, and then also on this week, I'm getting my nails done. So that'll be another nails. And we subtract that 40 from that. And let's see. So minus 40. Oh, Ladybug having her field day in her walker. That leaves $225. Okay, so that's how much we got left over out that week. So now we'll move on. We got paid on the 1st, so the next one is the 8th. So all we're really doing right here is just plugging in numbers, but we just writing the plan out. So on the 8th, payday $4.95, and the first bill is rent minus 140. We know that's $355 minus the phone. Okay, so that's 40 minus 40, and that's $315. Okay, and then minus the electric, which is 50, and that leaves $265 minus the gas bill of $25 this week. So $265 minus 25 equals, that leaves $240 for this week. Okay, let's keep moving on. We're just following our own plan that we made. First, the 8th. Okay, now the 15th. $4.95. We always put our income first and then our expenses. So rent, rent is first. So that's minus 140 on the 15th, and then minus I guess we'll do electric next. It don't matter what order. I'm gonna subtract them anyway. Minus electric, and that's 50. That leaves $305. And then if you on the 15th we have water. So minus 25 for water. 5 minus 25 equals, okay, see, 280. And then let's see, rent, electric, water, and gas is 25. So minus another 25. 280 minus 25 equals 255. Am I doing that right? I had to stop for a minute. Once I made it to this part, I was thinking, wait a minute, the gas bill. Now, the gas bill due the 20th, and I wrote it in right there and right there, but I meant to write it in here on that first week. Just because this one and this one has the water. So I try not to double up. So I'm going to take that gas bill off of the 15th check and put it up here. Gas is $25. The reason why I'm doing that is because the gas bill is due here, the water bill is due here, and instead of taking gas and water out this check, if I have an option, I try not to do that. So I split the gas between them two checks, and I split the water between them two checks. So now I just corrected that, took the gas bill off of there, moved it up here to this week. Now I'm back on track. Okay, so come up here. I was writing it there, but I erased it. That's why I say write with a pencil on your scrap paper, because you're going to erase it. So now we're going to add the gas bill to this week, and that leaves $200. Okay, so now we back on track. Okay, and then for this one here, let's see, that's where that should be. So now we'll just keep on moving on. 22nd, we make $4.95, and then on the 22nd, rent $140, water $4.95 minus what's that? What? Moving too fast. Gotta use an eraser. $3.55 now water, and that is 25. 355 minus 25. That leaves you with $330. So rent, water, and electric. So minus 54. I don't know why I'm writing that way out there. Electric. So minus another 50. And that leaves you with $280 right here. Okay. I'm missing something. Nails. I was like, wait, I'm missing something. Nails. So you gotta pay attention to this calendar. That's why we plan. So we can just follow our own plan. We did all our thinking over there. Now we're just following it out right here. So that leaves us with $240. And then the last pay week is 29th. And that's $4.95. And out of that check, we have the rent, which is $140, and that leaves $355. Okay, we don't know about this $15 challenge yet. But since all of our fixed expenses is already planned for, and this is the last check of the month, all bills have already been paid. So we'll take that $15 out of here for that $5 challenge. So I'm just gonna note that this is for the $5 challenge. And we're gonna subtract $15 out of that because we planned for that. So that'll be $355 minus 15, and that leaves you $340. All right. So we followed the plan on that. So we'll set that to the side. We're gonna grab our budget plan, and now we'll just plug in our variables. So we have 200 left over, so we know that we'll start with 200 at the top. But variables are groceries, savings, miscellaneous, household, and what else? The 1040 challenge. Okay, and then you can, this is scrap paper. You can write it all out if you want to, or you can just, but you do need to write it out in your book. Groceries, put savings, miscellaneous, household, 1040 challenge. Got groceries, saving, miscellaneous, household, 1040 challenge. Got groceries, saving, miscellaneous, household, and 1040. Okay. So now the next step is to plug in your variables. Remember, these numbers can change, but right now we're gonna write it out how we planned it out. So this is $60 a week in groceries. So every week is 60 for groceries, 60 for groceries, 60 for groceries, and 60. Okay, every week is 80 for saving, 80, 80, 80, 80, and 80. Miscellaneous 60. Household is 20. And then that 1040 challenge is $40 a week. $40 a week. Now let's do some math and figure the numbers out. Okay, remember variables can change. So we have 200 right there. 200 minus 60 minus 80 minus 60 minus 20 minus 40. Okay, we negative 60. Negative 60 means we over budget for that week. Okay, 240. Negative 20. Still over budget. 280. Okay. We're under budgeted that week by $20. And then 240. Over budget again. I already wrote that in there, negative 20. And then this week, let's see, we have 340 minus 60. Okay, and we have 80 here. All right, so with the variables, we over budgeted on these weeks and we are under budgeted by these weeks. So we need to move some money around. The first thing that I do know, groceries. We'll be grocery shopping every week, so I don't want to touch that money because I don't want to be short on groceries, not any of the weeks. Same with miscellaneous. I don't know where I'll mess up. I don't want to move that money from either of these weeks because I might need it. And with household, I do need to get household supplies. I don't want to take away from this money because I will be using it. But the money that I won't be using on any pay week is money that's going into savings and money that's going into that 1040 savings challenge. And so if I need to move money around to even out my budget, I'll move from those categories because I won't be spending and I don't want to mess up spending with groceries. So we know after all our bills are paid, we have 200 to go toward variables. So we'll just put that 200 up here. This week, 240. This week, 280. 240 and 340. All right. So all we need to do now, let's see. Okay, we over budgeted by 20 here. $20 right there. And this week right here, we have $20 that we under budgeted. So let's just move 20 from here. Okay, so like the 1040 challenge, on the 8th when we get paid, instead of taking $40, because we won't have it, we'll only have $20 to take out of there. So instead of putting 40, I'm gonna take 20 from here and move that 20 over here, add it to this one, so that'll increase to 60. But remember, I'm taking from 1040, so I need to move it to 1040. You can't take it from 1040 and move it to groceries or miscellaneous. You got to keep it in the same category. So now this number will change. Okay, so now they should even out. We have 280 minus 60 minus 80, 60, 20, and 60. 0. And that's the plan. We're going to put a smiley face. We made it to a zero-based budget. Okay. 240. Yep, we happy about that. Minus 60, minus 80, minus 60, minus 20, minus 20 equals 0. Oh, smiley face. Even the ladybug in there happy about this. Okay, now listen. The only thing that means is we still doing the 1040 challenge. We just moving what check we taking it from, because this week we have more things coming out than this week. So this week we had an extra 20. That one we was over budget by 20. We just moved it. So we'll just take that 20 that week and 60 that week. But at the end of the month, it's still gonna add up to be the same. So same with this. We over budgeted here by 60. We over budgeted here by 20, which is 80. And we know our 80 is on this week. So right here with this 60. And just go and erase that and that, because we know we're going to have to. So we need to take $60 from here somewhere. The smart thing to do would be savings, because it's already $80 in there. So we're going to take 60 out of that. 60 from 80, that leaves you 20. So that week we're going to put 20 in there. But that 60 we took from savings right here, we're going to move it to this week. So we took 60 out of savings up there on that week, and we'll add it to this week. We already had 80 for savings there. We'll add 60 to that, and that'll be 140. Okay, so we know now this number's going to change. Okay, so we have, let's see, 200, take away 60, 20, 60, 20, and 40. 0. We already know this one was negative 20, so let's go on and do this one. Okay, so we have negative 20. We need to take 20 from here. We'll take this one. It don't matter, from the 1040 or savings, either one. So that one was 40. We'll take that 20 from there, add it over here to this 1040. So this 1040 was actually supposed to be 40. Oh no, I'm wrong. 80. And we add 20 to it, so that's 100. Am I right? I think that's from a while ago. 340 minus 60 minus 140 minus 60 minus 20. Yep. That's supposed to be 40. A while ago when I was writing this budget out and erasing stuff, I left that 80 there. I meant, because, 1040 challenge always $40. So that's supposed to be 40 anyway. Back on track. What I did was I was negative 20 here. So I removed 20 from this 1040 challenge, and I'm going to bring it over here to this one. This one is 40. I'm going to add that 20 to it for it to be 60. Now let's do the math. A while ago off camera, I was trying to figure it out, and I left 80 there, but we know that should have been 40. That's where I was messing up on math. But that's part of budgeting, and that's why I'm showing it, because you got to just figure out them numbers. If they don't add up, figure it out. Nobody else gets your paycheck, so nobody else can do it for you. It's just a matter of sitting down doing it. The thinking and having to think about all this stuff is really not hard. Once you make your plan out at first, you already know what numbers should add up to. So when it's not adding up, it's easy to catch it. Okay, so 340 minus 60 minus 140 minus 60 minus 20 minus 60. Put us at 0. And put us at 0. All right, so that's the goal, and that's the plan for us to have a zero-based budget. So all of our weeks are down to 0. And now this is my scrap paper. That's how I usually write it. Now you can move it over into your book. So I'll write it on scrap paper, then I'll write it neatly in my book. And when I do write it in my book, I go ahead and highlight the weeks with the matching colors just to stay on track. So I know pink, orange, green, blue, to stay on track. Down here I did write that I put $15 into my $5 savings challenge. So just so those match up. Next, you gather all your supplies. You get your shoe box or whatever box. You get your envelopes. This the box I'll be using. So for now, let me just sit it to the side. Okay, my envelopes. So now, let's see. What all do we need? Let's just grab a few of them out of here. All right, so matter of fact, let me move this. Okay, the bills we have is rent. We have phone. Gas bill. Water bill. Excuse me. Electric. Okay. Come down to groceries. The variables right there. Savings. The important miscellaneous. Household. Okay, we have our 1040. And our nails. Okay, so that's all of our $5 challenge. Now with the $5 challenge, what that is normally like you'll go and go that first week of February and you'll buy groceries. So at the end of the week, if you don't spend all of that money and you have money left in that grocery envelope, I would take all the $5 bills that's left in that envelope and just throw it in here. The only thing that goes in here is your leftover $5 bills, but I put this but just because it was $15 left over out of a paycheck. I could have put in any savings, but $5 challenge is a savings anyway, so it's still going to be saved. Just in a different envelope. I keep saying folder and envelope, but I mean envelope. So that $5 challenge goes over there, and then the nails too, because all of those are fixed and these are variables. Okay, so let me get my shoe box. Remember, I ripped the middle out of it. So what I'll do, I have my main envelopes here. You can use a paper clip. You can use some of these little clips. You can use nothing. Just sit them in there. You can use a bobby pin if you don't have a paper clip. You can use a bag clip if you don't have one. Just don't go out and buy something. Don't. I found these at Dollar Tree. They cute, real big and cute. And then grocery savings. So we'll put these together. Now, all of our envelopes is in here and they ready before you go get your paycheck out the bank. Okay, so now what you'll do, you'll go to the bank, you'll go take that $4.95 out the bank. When you come home, you'll sit down with the money and you'll say, okay, $140, you'll put it into the rent envelope. $50 into the electric, phone, and just keep going like that. Grocery, you'll put 60 over here. And then, so now you'll have your money budgeted out after you got your paycheck. Then, when it's time to go grocery shopping, what you'll do, you'll grab, and I did not write it on here. I guess I'll write it down here. SNAP is $600 a month because you want to keep up with all income, even SNAP. So when it's time to go grocery shopping, what I would do, I'll grab my SNAP card, I'll grab my grocery envelope with that $60 in there, and then I'll also grab my miscellaneous just in case. If I know I'm going to buy household stuff too, I'll take that envelope with me also. But I will not take my savings out the house, and I will not take that 1040 out the house. And even these, if you want to pay your bills online, what you would do, whenever it's due, you'll just get that money out that envelope, take it back to the bank, deposit it back into your account, pay your bill online. If you use a separate account for bills, take the cash, put it into your bill account, pay it. It's just making a plan for your own money, but there's no certain way, there's no certain order. You don't have to write this out like this. I have another way. If you don't like that method I use of drawing the 4 squares in your notebook, you can also do it this way. You can just get you some scrap paper and do it first with a pencil, and then you'll come back and write it in your book. Pencil. Okay, so I just wrote the income and wrote down first all the paydays and how much, and then I just drew like a little graph for my fixed expenses. So I grabbed my calendar. I said, I ain't getting the calendar. I sat down with the calendar. I said, okay, on the first, and wrote all the bills down. The next paycheck, all the bills, and just write them out like that. So this is how you would just make you a table. It's the same thing as writing the boxes. You just write it all out on the table. And then for variables, I would come down here and just, we'll put variables. And then what do we have for variables? I have to look at my paper. Okay, we have groceries. We have savings. I'm not going to do all this because, you get the point. Household, you should be able to get the point. 1040. Nails is already in with that. And then I would have put for the 29th paycheck, it would have been $5 challenge. And that was 15. So, of course, you can total all that up if you want to, but you ain't got to worry about that. And then on the first, when you pay it, I put a column here for pay, just so you could check it off once you pay that bill, so you'll know you're through with it. But anyway, so I list out the variables here, and I put them paydays up here. So that first check, 60 go in for groceries, 80 go in for savings, 60 for miscellaneous, 20 for household, and 40 for 1040, and just keep going like that. The A, 15. It's just all in how you want your paper set up, how you want your paper to look. It can be anyway, so you just plug in those numbers. $60 a week for groceries. Okay, 80. And then, like the same way, when you get all that filled out, you'll see where you over budgeted, where you under budgeted. You'll get to moving numbers around, doing the math, adding it up until it all comes out to 0. So that's basically all it takes to write out your weekly budget. I know it seems like a lot of steps, but it's really easy. Once you get that budget plan written out, then you just follow your own plan. Now, there are many different people that teach you how to budget. Everybody do it their own way. These I have found to be the easiest way just because you're just doing your basic math. Now, one thing that I can tell you for sure, it will not get done if you don't do it. Nobody else will do it for you. And even though we feel like we don't have time to sit down and make that budget, if you try to plan for it, then you can get it done. So set you a date and a time, set you an alarm, get you a plan, and get ready to save some money. The last thing I need to show you is the sinking funds. If you want to screenshot this, sinking funds, they are categories that you can use in your budget for, like, so variables. You may not need to save for household, but you might need to save for gas in your car, or you might need spending money for the week, or you might need shopping. You may be a person eat out or smoking. Some of these can be used for that, but sinking fund, they are also categories that can be used in the future, like Christmas. Where's that? Christmas, I saw it. New car, car maintenance. Like, we know Christmas coming up. We know we'll need money for Christmas. So if I plan to have $1,000 to spend on Christmas and I'm shopping for Black Friday, I know from January till the beginning of November, before Black Friday, I need to have that 1,000 saved. So I would do $1,000 divided by how many paychecks I have, and that'll tell me how much I need to put for each paycheck. So you can do it that way, or you can say, okay, I have until the end of November for Christmas to fill that with $1,000. But in January, I have other stuff coming up, so I'll start stuffing that envelope in March or April, and then so you'll count from April to November how much you need to put each paycheck. Just do the math and figure it out. But it's really easy once you get started, and it's fun. Make it fun. So, like with this next thing, like I said, I was gonna end it. So I would come and highlight these, that to match that, to go along with the weeks. Orange, I would just match it up like that, and also match these up, and just keep your stuff on track. So in this video, this is my way of how to write your weekly budget. This is part of my plan of how to get ahead in 2024. If you found any value in this video, please hit that like button. I'm trying to get my channel to grow, and you can help me by hitting that like button. It's free to do so. Also, subscribe to my channel. That really does help me grow. It helps me grow, and it helps me get more videos out to people. Because this information is needed. So if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel. I also do have another channel. On that channel, I promote healthy marriages and good kids. That channel is called KP, Keep It Real. So if you're interested in anything like that, follow me over there and like and subscribe. I'm trying to get that channel to grow as well. But if you have any questions, any suggestions, any ideas, or comments, just leave them down in a comment, and I will read it and I'll get back to you. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a blessed day, blessed week, and a blessed year. We're going to get this money right.